If you notice right here, this locking mechanism will hit that bolt or that screw head right there. You know, sometimes you think something's going to take 10 minutes and it ends up taking 10 hours. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Dirt Dauber Garage video. We haven't put up a video in about a week and a half, and I had to go out of town for a little while, help my dad move, and haven't got a whole lot done on the 40, which is a little bit frustrating, but we're still moving ahead slowly. You know, sometimes things that you think might take 10 minutes end up taking 10 hours, and some things you think are going to take 10 hours take 10 minutes. So let me show you what I've been working on the last week or so. All right, here she is. This doesn't look like much, but this is the fuel door that goes on the passenger side. And if you remember from some of my other earlier videos, the one that was on there was welded on top of another door. This frame right here that this goes in, all around here was welded just terrible, and on top of another one. It's like they didn't even cut the old one off when they put the new quarter panel on. They just cut it right along here and then just welded a new one right on top of it. So I ordered a new one, and it came, but it needed a lot of work. This thing right here took a long time for a couple reasons. One is you can see where I had to make these holes bigger, and you can see that these bolts don't really match. They're not welded in there. The bolts that came on it were not the right size. I'm not sure if there are different FJ40s that have different size bolts, but the ones that were already on here, it already had these two holes drilled, and it had the two nuts already in it. Got this from Spectre Off-Road. I think it was like about 90 bucks, which is kind of expensive, but this is a specialty part and I needed it, so I was glad to pay it. And the nuts that came in there were not the right size. I had a baggie that had these bolts. It said, when I got it from the guy I bought it from, he had a baggie that said fuel door, and so these bolts were in here and they were too small. So I had to cut off the original nuts. All right, these nuts right here are not the right size. I put some bolts in there to hold it and to test it, but the bolts that came with this, when I got this from the guy in Ringgold, I bought this thing. He had a Ziploc bag that said gas filler door, and the screws he had in there are this size, and they are too big. There's also no holes in the top for the latch, so I'm gonna cut these bolts off, weld these new bolts on, which are the right size, because my OCD won't let me not do it. And I went to Home Depot and found these nuts. I forget the size, what they are, but they're metric and they're the right size. So I put the fuel door on originally, and it hit up at the very top. It was way up at the top. I'm actually going to move it a little bit so it's a little better centered down here, but it's way up at the top, and this this little locking mechanism would hit. It was hitting, boom, at the top here, boom, boom, boom. Every time I tried to close the door, it would hit. So I had to use a file. I used this needle file. This is kind of a big one. And then I have some smaller ones here. That these are actually for doing fretwork on a guitar. And I play guitar as well. And so I used these, and I just took a couple hours, and I just slowly continued to go make these holes farther down, and just I kept putting the door on. I've put this door on this thing about 100 times, and as I said before, it's a little low. It's not centered in there. I'm going to raise it up just a tad. If you notice right here, this locking mechanism will hit that bolt or that screw head right there as it's going in. So I need to drill these out. a little bit more and move them over. Now these, I said that earlier that these bolts that came on here, not only were they not really in the right place, they weren't the right size, but these bolts or these nuts up here were not even on here at all. Again, I'm not sure why, if there's another year 40 that didn't need these, but so I put these holes in here. I've got to move them a little bit from this orientation to the left, that way. So right now I can get this closed. I just have to turn this locking mechanism a little bit to the right, and then it'll close just fine. But I want it to be able to go in like I think it's designed to go in, straight. And so I'm going to move those over a little bit. I have to drill this out just a tad, move it to the left. I'm going to move these up just a hair, tighten them down, and then I'm going to put a spot weld on each side of these nuts to hold them. Then I'm going to use a copper backing plate, and I'm going to fill these holes, even though you don't see them. Well, actually, you can barely see them from the top of this when it's done. I'm going to fill those in and grind it down to where it looks the way it's supposed to. So that's what I've been working on the last week or so. Spent one whole day just about working on this, cleaning it up and getting it right. I got another couple hours on it, and then I'm going to weld it on the quarter panel and weld the quarter panel on. Hopefully that will be done in the next few days, and that will be my next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to subscribe if you like this content. Hit the like button. Comment, let us know if there's any questions you have or any suggestions you might have for our channel. Thanks again for watching.